G'day there guys, welcome back to another episode of r/shaming incompetent parents on the r/am I the arsehole subreddit. It's your main man Markee, and I'd like for you to sit back, relax, chuck a prawn to the barbie, and get ready for this bloody good content. Let's go. Am I the arsehole for making a scene of my adult son and sticking my nose in his marriage? I'm 60 and bad with the whole text thing on mobiles, so I'm hoping I won't be judged on my grammar. Here's the important background. My daughter-in-law, 32, and my son, 33, have 3 children aged 3 years, 2 years, and 4 months. He convinced her to be a stay-at-home mum and sell her business by telling her how good of a childhood he had and how happy my marriage was without telling her, which I today found out, that our arrangement was everything before 9 AM and after 5 PM was split 50-50, Sunday was my day off, and I was brought out twice a week. On to the story. On my last visit, I noticed my daughter-in-law was struggling mentally, so I, my sister, and her girlfriend pulled our money together and paid for a spa weekend for them while we'd babysit the kids for her birthday last weekend. I was preparing on Thursday evening for the kids to arrive when my daughter-in-law rang me holding back tears, saying they won't be going because my son's friend came to town and he said he wanted to spend the weekend with his friends catching up. I pressed her a little, and I'm talking a little about her situation, and she came clean about him doing no chores, no date nights, and her doing basically all of the childcare, because that's what stay-at-home mums do. I was honestly disgusted. I convinced her to drop me off the kids and bring a friend to the spa, and I even dipped into my savings to give her €500 to buy herself something nice. When she dropped off the kids to me, I begged her to tell me where my son was, and after 5 minutes, she told me he was at the bar. She left for the spa while I left for the bar. She knew I was going there and knew my sister and my sister-in-law were taking care of the kids. Here is where I might be the asshole. When I went to the bar, where he and his friends were, I sat down next to the group and asked my son, "Did I fail you as a mother, or was it your father? Because both thought your partner comes before your silly drunk friends." Now this post is getting long enough, but long story short, I humiliated him and got myself banned from a bar. My daughter-in-law said she'll be taking the kids to her parents when she gets back tomorrow, and my son is calling me an asshole for humiliating him and sticking my nose in his marriage. Maybe I should have stayed out. I don't know. And edit, I just wanted to say I'm heartbroken, not by any judgmental words towards me or my parenting skills, but the fact that a lot of people are shocked I care about my daughter-in-law's mental health and stood up for her against my son's bad behavior. I just wanted to say, as a mother, my advice is treat your daughter, son, and non-binary in-laws how you'd want your children to be treated. Respect goes a long way. OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the asshole. I went full-on Karen in a bar and humiliated my son when I could have tried to talk to him, and maybe they wouldn't be having problems in their marriage now. I applaud you for going off on your son. I feel like that was the right thing to do in this situation. He needs a slap of reality right in his face. To be so neglectful, and then on top of that uncaring of her mental health, as well as the huge workload your son has put on her, it's just disgraceful. He deserves much more than just being humiliated at the bar in front of his friends. I think you've done the right thing, and I think you can do a lot more, honestly. Not the asshole OP. Now in the comments, Bamf says, "It sounds like your misogynistic son needed some humiliation and to have someone stick their nose into his marriage. It's not like you're a stranger. You are his mother. Also, this is not a minor thing. This is your son treating his wife like a servant, not a spouse." And OP replies, "I honestly don't know where this attitude comes from. His father treated me with respect and his brothers seem to be respectful to their parents too." Well, since you're on a roll right now, maybe call each of their partners too, just in case? And OP replies, "Oh, I did, believe me. I rang each one of my kids and their partners. My son's partners Jackson, Sarah, and Bella were all surprised at what happened and assured me my sons would be single if they were mistreated the same with my girls' partners." Well, you did a good job raising your kids. Maybe your problem son has been influenced by his friends, or even online. but it's really reassuring that you've checked with your other daughters-in-law and they're okay. Definitely online. Sounds like he's listened to one too many evolutionary psychologist podcasts. Women are gatherers and men are hunters, and that's the way it's supposed to be. Not the asshole. Your son sounds like an asshole though, and he convinced her to become a stay-at-home mom so he could avoid being a dad? And I'm sure that if she worked, she would still be expected to do everything at home and care for the kids in the evenings and on weekends. Absolutely. But this way he can justify it by saying that she stays home. Not to mention control her by having sole financial control. And Vulpix Raw says, not the asshole. Good on you for sticking up for your daughter-in-law. Your son needs a serious reality check. 3 babies and all the chores? He's nuts! I'm so relieved for daughter-in-law. Having mother-in-law react like this probably helped give her the strength that she needed to get out. OP, you really did right by her, and by your grandkids, and long-term, by your son as well. He needed a wake-up call. Our next post is by user Rain on Me Panda, titled, Am I the asshole for refusing to take my friend's package with me internationally without opening and checking it first? So, I will soon be flying to the other side of the world, and my friend asked me to take a package with me and deliver it to her friend who lives in the country I'm flying to. Now, I trust my friend with my life, but I told her that since it's an international flight and taking unneeded risks are unwise, I would appreciate it if I can open the package with her present and look through it just to make sure there's nothing undesirable in it. My friend immediately gets offended, and she even starts yelling at me, telling me how she can't believe that I don't trust her and that I am invading her privacy. She told me I'm being selfish and paranoid, and that she won't let me see inside the package because it has sensitive content. That ended up freaking me out more. So I told her that I can't do it if I can't make sure it's safe, and that I'm sorry. She started to cry and left the room. She later left me a text saying that I'm selfish and that she doesn't want to talk to me anymore. Now, while I feel bad, I've heard all kinds of stories and I don't want to be put into a position where I'm responsible for whatever sensitive content is in her package. Reddit, am I the asshole? And Edit 1, a comment here made me want to add more context. I trust my friend a lot, but I should have mentioned that my friend is known to cultivate weed and then store them in spice jars. I could have sworn I heard noises of glass in the package, and she's joked before that she could smuggle weed disguised as a spice or herb or something, and that they wouldn't know a thing. Now, I do trust her, but I just want peace of mind, you know? I'm sad she's offended, but I just wish she could understand my point of view. No! Oh my god, I'm reading the edits later on that I'm gonna have to get to after this one. They mentioned the refrigerated olives too. If I don't know what was in those refrigerated olives, there's no way in hell I'm trusting this friend much more than I am trusting her with this spice weed to smuggle internationally. I'm not trying to be Chappelle Corby here. Oh my god, this friend sucks. I'm sorry, OP, your friend absolutely sucks. There is no way in hell any logical person would ever do this. She even said that it's sensitive content and you heard glass clinking. How are you not supposed to just take from that she's trying to get you to smuggle weed to her friend in another country? Like, the option is there to send it internationally, yet she won't let it be on her own hands, because she'd have to put her name and sign off on it to send it internationally, and she knows she'd get in trouble. No, screw this friend, never do that, not the asshole. Now in the comments, Feral Hat says, not the asshole, major red flag, don't frickin' do it. This, a woman in South Africa was arrested in the year 1992, I think. A friend of hers gave her a package that had books. Turns out on the seal of the books there was hidden cocaine. She got arrested in Bangkok. She gave birth there as she was pregnant, and she spent 25 years there because she didn't check what was in the package her friend gave her. Yeah, I hate to be a paranoid patty, but my first thought was that OP could get in serious legal trouble internationally because of her friend trying to sneak something over on her and thinking that it's not a big deal. The problem is, in many countries, it is in fact a big deal, not the asshole. And in some countries, hint hint the Philippines, depending on what you're trying to bring in, it could end up with you getting a death sentence. Edit, not the asshole. At the end of last year, a woman ended up with a death sentence for smuggling drugs into a country. She was bringing something for a man that she'd met online, who, of course, disappeared. And Saint Alva says, not the asshole. Quote, she told me I'm being selfish and paranoid. Paranoid is exactly what any reasonable person should be in this super sketchy situation. Look, I got my high school boyfriend a naughty DVD and hid it in a CD case and wrapped it as a gift. My sister was nosy and insisted on seeing the present, and I flipped out on her. Pretty much every other gift I've given in my life I'd have shown others because those weren't contraband. Her reaction is super sus, especially as an adult between friends. Even if it was porn, or something else just naughty but not illegal, it might be embarrassing to fess up, but worth it to have your package delivered. I can't imagine what she'd be reacting to if the contents weren't illegal. And Habba87 says, not the asshole. Customs asks if you've packed everything yourself. You would either have to 1. Admit you hadn't and they'd open it in front of you, or 2. Lie, which is a crime, and say that you had, at which point your sweaty, twitchy eyes or guilty voice would give it away and they'd open it in front of you. Is this a legit loophole? I didn't open it, but I didn't lie to the customs guy about packing it myself either. Not my problem what he did with that information. And not the asshole, I would be quite happy for the courier to pour through anything like that till they were satisfied. If it was legit sensitive, you shouldn't be spending it with some rando civilian. If it's just in your suitcase, they'll assume that it belongs to you. How many smugglers do you think are just carrying that for a friend? Now back to the post, edit 2. Wow, I woke up to so much engagement in this post. Thank you for all your replies and assuring me that I'm not the asshole. And thanks for the awards. As for updates, my friend hasn't spoken to me since the incident and has had a message delivered to me via a mutual friend saying that the only way she'll talk to me is if I take this package from her and trust in our friendship. However, I had heard from my other friend that the person I was supposed to deliver the package to has a reputation involving drugs. And while we didn't get into details, my friend just said, and not for using them. I don't want to accuse anyone of anything, rumors fly and innocent until proven guilty, but I'm definitely not taking that package anymore, unless I can get a pretty good look at it. In edit 3, I just saw a comment asking me if I know a Jason who stores olives in his fridge. I replied this to them. Sorry for replying late. Funny enough, her boyfriend's name is Jason. Fun fact to enhance the story, he loves a show called Breaking Bad, so that he legally gave himself the middle name Walter. But sadly, I do not know if they keep their olives refrigerated. And I just read the story in question about Jason and his refrigerated olives. There may be a connection, but then again, most likely not. I'll try my best to do some digging, but if I'm honest, I'm kind of freaked out enough by the situation to avoid investigating anything for my own safety. And I'll update this story as long as you guys are interested. Once again, thank you all. And at the top of the post there is a final update. Thank you all for the awards and comments. I'm known to be a huge pushover, and my friend knows this to be true, and she can be pretty manipulative and caused me to second guess myself. She also still isn't talking to me, which is fine by me. As for the package, our mutual friend found the box that it was supposed to be shipped in by the trash in front of her house, so I guess she isn't shipping it anymore. I don't know what was in it, but all evidence and other context, which is too long to post, points to it being a substance. At this point, I'm hoping that it was just weed and not something more dangerous. Once again, thank you everyone. And our next post is by user Zilch6110, titled, Am I the asshole for purposefully sending my cousin the wrong timing for a movie so the others could enjoy? So my 16 female brother Nate, 17 male, was diagnosed with IED when he was 12. Is he literally an IED or something? Is he gonna explode if I touch him? Now, at first I walked on eggshells around him, but things are much better now. Most family members know and understand that IED is not just tantrums, but a serious issue. and some do not. One of my cousins, Kira, 17 female, is one of those people. Ever since my parents informed the family about Nate being diagnosed, she's done nothing but intentionally push his buttons at every family gathering, outing, or whenever we are together. My parents have talked to my uncle and aunt about this, but they'd brushed it off, calling it pranks. Now, my parents will not under any cost damage relationships with my dad's brother and his family or my dad's other siblings. None of my other cousins like Kira or her family. We are forced to be cordial because of our parents. Kira has to be invited every time us cousins hang out together, most of the time ending with Nate being triggered by Kira. The day before yesterday, we all planned to watch a movie. Our parents knew this, so of course they told Kira's parents, who told her. She messaged me and asked where and when we were all supposed to meet at. My brother had really been looking forward to this movie and meeting our cousins after a few months in person. He had also been in a really good mood, and I didn't want Kira to ruin it, so I did what I thought was best at the time. I gave her the wrong timing. I told my cousins and Nate what I did, and they were fully on board. After the movie finished, we came out of the theater and waited for some time in the parking lot. As soon as we saw Kira pulling over, waving at us, all of us waved back with the sweetest smiles, made a run for our cars, got in, and left. As expected, when me and Nate reached home, we were immediately ambushed by our parents about why we abandoned Kira. Apparently, she had cried all the way home. My parents grounded me and Nate for 2 weeks. He surprisingly took it well and said it was worth it. The rest of my cousins were grounded as well. I did text them, telling them they could tell their parents that it was my idea, but my cousins refused and reiterated what my brother had said. I thought that was the end of it, but my parents have been really hurt by this, and said me and Nate humiliated them in front of Kira's parents, and that Kira had been inconsolable since. Edit. So a lot of people are wondering why I invited her, rather than telling her outright not to come. I didn't invite her. My parents did. Also, if I tried to deny the invitation, then none of my aunts or uncles or my parents would have let us go. I see how waiting around may have been an asshole move. And IED is intermittent explosive disorder. So Reddit, I don't know. Am I the asshole? Look, I feel like what you did was a bit of a dick move, but given the circumstances, I think it's justified. So I think overall, you're not the asshole for this, but this action is a justified, asshole kind of move. If she won't respect his IED, she should never have to be invited to social situations with him in order to stop him from being triggered by her. She chooses not to care, she chooses to still want to hang out with you guys. Seems like it's a natural consequence of her actions. And yeah, the parents have to punish you guys for this and the cousins, but I don't know if that's completely fair on their parts when they know what she's like. That's just my 2 cents, I'd like to know what you guys think. I'm saying not the asshole. Now in the comments, FrontThought998 says, not the asshole. She can dish it, but she can't take it. Tell your uncle and aunt that it was just a prank, bro, and you don't understand why they're overreacting. They don't mind when their own child pranks others, so what's the problem? I'd normally not want to reply to petty with petty, but God, this needs to be the top answer for once. OP, please do this. It's really not petty. What OP did was an actual prank. What the cousin does to OP's brother is emotional warfare. I think a true prank leaves both parties laughing afterwards. The fact that all the cousins are okay with being grounded for 2 weeks means that Kira's peers are fed up with her behavior. Her parents aren't doing anyone a favor by forcing this interaction and failing to curb her behavior. They're raising an asshole who will eventually piss off the wrong person or find that she is alienating her friends. She'll end up alone eventually. Better now that she's young and has time to correct her BS. Not the asshole. Your parents are huge assholes for allowing your brother to be bullied just because they want to keep the peace. They would rather their child suffer than their lives get affected in the slightest. Agreed. My mum would defend me against one of my relatives being an asshole to me when I was younger. Honestly, what he did was great so that his brother could avoid being bullied. If it were up to me, I'd literally snap on my cousin for this. What I love is all the cousins holding the line. Notice that they all are taking the fall. OP was willing to take the blame, but all the cousins are like, nope, totally worth it. And Wetnib says, not the asshole. Does Kira prank all of you or just Nate? The fact that your entire family puts up with Kira's crap is why she keeps doing it. They are all enablers. Keep doing what y'all are doing. Maybe the grown-ups will finally get the message. And OP replies, it is just Nate. We all have learned to ignore her. Nate is the only one she can get to react because of the IED. You and all of your cousins should say that you decided since Kira loves pranks so much, you set one up for her to enjoy. If your parents want the pranks to stop, then all the pranks need to stop. If the pranks are fine, then she should expect a lot more of them. And our next post is by user Solid Schnoes, titled, Am I the asshole for pointing out my aunt has a favorite kid at a family dinner? So my aunt Mara, 45 female, has 2 kids, Reese, 13 female, and Lara, 9 female. Mara has always clearly preferred Lara. Reese always knew it too. My aunt has always made sure that Lara can do the extracurriculars she wants to do. She lets her drop out at any time, even if she's paid in advance. She gives her the birthday she wants every year, and in general, she's more affectionate and interested in what Lara is up to. With Reese, she pushed her into dance when she was 5 and made her do dance for 4 years. Reese never liked dance and never seemed to fit in. Mara hated it. She would ask her why she couldn't put more effort in, etc. That she always wanted a daughter who did dance. I, 18 female, was around there a lot because Aunt Mara babysat me for my parents while they worked, and then I just had to wait at her house until my parents got home so we could save on electric bills and other stuff like that. I once asked Aunt Mara why Reese couldn't do something she wanted to do, and she told me they didn't have money for it. Reese never got to do another one, but Lara has several. Soccer, dance, art, and swim right now. But she's also done basketball, photography, gymnastics, which really upset Reese because she always wanted to do gymnastics, guitar, piano, drums, and singing. Aunt Mara also discards Reese's plans and has made her cancel it to look after her sister, but also made Reese skip her plans when Lara has them and they conflict. In the last year and a half, Reese has just decided to say screw everyone. She's definitely weighed down by it all. We talk about it because she said that I'm the only one who acknowledges it, but I have definitely noticed. We were all gathered for a family dinner on Sunday. It was my grandparents' birthday this week, so the family decided to celebrate on Sunday, and Reese was in a really bad mood. Aunt Mara told her she was bringing down the mood, and Reese got up and left the table. Aunt Mara said she didn't know what was up with her, but she's always acting like the whole world is out to get her. I mentioned that maybe if she didn't show such blatant favoritism, Reese would be happier. My aunt and parents were pissed I would bring it up, my grandparents asked what I meant, and Aunt Mara said I didn't know what I was talking about, and Reese is such a drama queen. I told my grandparents what I meant and they were shocked. Aunt Mara said Reese never wanted to do anything. Grandma remembered how often Reese would ask to do gymnastics. My parents told me that it wasn't the correct time or place to bring it up, and I embarrassed Aunt Mara. Am I the asshole? My guy, family dinners on Sunday are the place to speak up and bring these things up. If you don't bring it up in front of everyone, where the problem can get addressed, you're going to bring it up with her in private and she's going to have the chance to shut it down and continue the status quo. I can see in a lot of families they'd think that's an asshole move because you're just pissing everyone off and you're starting a fight, people are going to leave in a sour mood, and the dinner is going to be ruined. We can't have our sanctimonious Sunday roast ruined now, can we? I for one think you did the right thing here, OP. Stand up against Aunt Mara, clarify the situation with the grandparents, make everyone else aware of it and have to actually do something about it, instead of being complicit and just ignoring the situation, much like everyone is ignoring Reese and her wants, needs and feelings. Screw Aunt Mara, this was the correct time and place to bring it up, and she deserves to be embarrassed and fix the wrongs that she's done against Reese, not the asshole OP. Now in the comments, Ewan says, quote, "My parents told me it wasn't the correct time or place to bring it up and I embarrassed Aunt Mara." Not the asshole. Your aunt's behavior is what embarrassed her, and it's going to have done so regardless of when you brought it up. The fact that OP's parents were okay with a child being treated that way is even more concerning. OP is not the asshole, but her parents obviously relied on Mara a lot for childcare and were in no position to criticize her. OP was taken care of, so screw Reese, right? OP's parents were very poor according to her description. She hung out at Aunt's house in order to save electricity at her own home, so it's unlikely they had any other childcare options. Common sense says you don't put someone on blast when you desperately need their help. Welcome to the world of the working poor. Sometimes you have to eat crap to put food on the table. The problem here is the aunt. Good for OP for sticking up for your cousin, but she has nothing to lose here, so it's not a reflection on the character of her own parents that they never said anything. They may not even have known, given that they seem to work a lot. They owe the aunt a lot for providing years of free childcare and are not going to attack her, deserved or not. I couldn't have put this better myself. The parents may be morally incorrect in this instance, but they're also experiencing a lot of embarrassment that OP is reacting to Aunt with anything other than respect and gratitude. They may even agree with OP, but may not feel they're in a position to criticize someone who helped them raise their kid. Not saying the parents are right, but Auntie is demonstrably the asshole. Your aunt disgusts me. You're not the asshole, and my heart goes out to Reese. OP, please maintain a relationship with Reese as she gets older. Having realized this dynamic and possibly expressing symptoms of depression, her worst years are yet to come. I was the unloved child by my mother as well, and at 21, it's clear it's had a lifelong impact on me. I believe I would have been a bit better off if any of my family had acknowledged it and attempted to support me and maintain a relationship. Anyway guys, I think that's where I'm going to end today's video. If you did like it, tell me what you thought about it down in the comments below, and make sure to just interact with everyone in this community. I love each and every one of you that I get to see on a daily basis. And don't forget, if you are a Patreon subscriber, I love you. You're on the screen right now with the YouTube members as well. If you see yourself, give yourself a pat in the back. You guys help me continue this YouTube journey. You keep me going. I see you guys everywhere. I see your messages, and thank you so much for supporting me. I really love every single one of you. But with that all said, I'm going to be signing off now, guys. I hope you have a good day, night, sleep, whatever you're up to, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.